Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, and I know it's been a while since I hosted my last walk show. That's WALK because I just walk and talk. And got some new shoes. They're not dirty like the other ones, and my feet are still crooked though. That didn't fix that. So I've still got crooked feet, but I got new shoes. So that's all that matters. But yeah, so got a lot of stuff going, and again, I apologize for my voice quality because I'm walking. It's one of the first days I've been able to walk, trying to get rid of this cold. But got some really exciting stuff. Obviously, I expect to hopefully receive DJI Spark next week, and as soon as I do, I'll be all over it as usual. But also, we've been working on a revamped website, and I'm doing IrixGuy.com first and testing the server performance, and then I'm going to work to revamp 400 or below.com, epicdroneshow.com, and just really bring the website into the next century. So, in IrixGuy.com, for example, you're going to have the live show component, IrixGuy's live show, IrixGuy walk show, epic drone show. It's all going to be there. I'm going to have a very thorough and media-rich blog. Hello, Cider. Welcome aboard, bro. So, yeah, that's going to be cool. It's not ready yet, but if you go to IrixGuy.com, you'll see a work in progress. It's pretty bare. But my intent is to create something that when I host a live show or when I post something, that it's easy for y'all to just go to IrixGuy.com, obviously watch the video, but also find links to everything referenced within the video. So it's not like, well, where do I find this or where do I find that? It's easy. It's a one-stop shop. You just go to the website and it's all there. So, that'll be a fun project. I'm using, I don't know if there's any web developers out there that are watching live, but I'm using Amazon Web Services. It's actually a pretty cool concept because if you've ever designed and hosted a website, you probably discovered that a lot of hosts, especially the shared host, meaning that your web content is shared with someone else's, potentially multiple parties. When you're on a shared host, your performance is typically degraded. You typically have very limited administrative rights. Hi from New Zealand. Hey, Michael. Welcome aboard, dude. New Zealand, really cool place. That is on IrixGuy's Venture Channel's to-do list, that in Australia. And it's just, man, it's a long plane flight, but it looks awesome there. But yeah, shared hosting is often affordable, but what I decided to do with IrixGuy.com first, and then I'm going to follow with 400 or below in my other websites, but just to have something that's a dedicated server. So it's called a virtual private server, and it's pretty neat because basically the way Amazon bills this stuff, it's not like a typical website hosting package like one may get at, popular GoDaddy or 1-in-1 or something along those lines. But this is a virtual instance on a server. And so you have complete control of the server. So I'm running, had a variety of operating system choices, but I went with Ubuntu Linux because I'm very confident with administering Ubuntu Linux, and I've set up a very, very fast server, and it bills. It's weird how Amazon Web Services bills. It bills for the usage. So it's not like a typical web host where you pay X amount per month. It's like, well, you're paying for you're paying for disk usage, you're paying for server uptime, a variety of things. If you get multiple IP addresses, you're paying for that. But it's a cool concept, and it's actually the fastest performance I've ever achieved from a website. And again, I don't have a lot of content on it yet on my new site, but if you go to IrixGuy.com, you can see the work in progress, and you'll probably notice that everything loads quite rapidly. So, that's important when you're sharing content by way of a website, that it's fast. And it's very important nowadays too, because a lot of people may not realize this, but if you have a website and you have a page that loads slowly, that can actually hurt your ranking within Google search. So it's of utmost importance to have a website that is snappy. If it's not, it's going to do more than just irritate your viewers. It's going to potentially make you become lower ranked in Google search. So that's an important tidbit of geekdom that I wanted to share with the viewers out there. If you're doing the website thing, take that in consideration. Also, the mobile friendly component. There's a testing tool. If you just Google mobile friendly test, it'll pop up with a Google tool, and it'll go to your website and tell you if it thinks that it's mobile friendly. If it's not mobile friendly, the sites that are mobile friendly are going to rank higher. So since they rank higher, then yours ranks lower. So think about that. And so that's the big project I got going. And building my own virtual server from installing a LAMP, which is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Installed the LAMP stack, and then it went in and set up my firewalls and made sure the server was secure, and then started working on the web content. So it's fun. I mean, I'm excited to officially unveil that to the world here in a few weeks, hopefully. And it'll hopefully enhance everyone's viewing experience, because again, you'll have that one-stop shop for everything. And y'all tell me what you think. But I got this, still getting over this head cold, so just trying to today actually just trying to sweat out some of this crap. I mean, it's not good. You gotta, I'm not one to be under the weather, because I've got multiple concurrent career pursuits, and it's impossible to allow a head cold to hamper those activities. So just something important to know there. But this is the walk show, and I know I've gotten mixed reviews about this. This is one of the live shows that's it'll be featured on the new IrixGuy.com. But I mean, this is just simply walking with a phone. But I want to have another epic drone show very soon. Well, I have a bunch of those actually when the DJI Spark arrives, because that's going to be, I don't know. I always have a decent degree of confidence when DJI releases a new product. But I will say, I'm excited about the Spark. I'm super excited, but I'm already disappointed because it doesn't have 4K. So, the video piece going in, I know that I'll be underwhelmed, but I'm still excited to see what else it brings to the table, and see how, something that small, how well it could potentially perform even in a mild amount of wind. So, from that perspective, I'm thrilled. But I hate having to go into a drone review with a negative feeling in my head before I take it out in the field, and I already have that because it doesn't have the 4K. So I'm gonna have to go out in the field with the DJI Spark for the first time like I always do, with no bias in my mind, and just see how it performs. And who knows, maybe that 1080p video looked really good. I don't know. But y'all see it as soon as I get it. And that's my mission, to get out here and get these drones and get them in the air and see what they do. So that's about it. I mean, I regret not hosting a live show recently, but like I said, with this head cold I had, I was so whacked out that my voice sounded so bad I couldn't even talk. So it's been rough, trying to not have a live show. I mean, this is an addiction. YouTube is an addiction, so I've got to feed that addiction by releasing a lot of content, and I've failed recently because of this head cold. So, but don't worry, this next week and the week after that, when this drone comes out, DJI Spark, I'm gonna have some good stuff, and I'm hoping that in August that we'll see a Phantom 5 and or a DJI Mavic Pro 2. And I'm hoping that with the Mavic Pro 2 that we get 4K video, 4K 60 frame per second video. Ultimately, I'd like to get a modular camera with it and some other goodness, but yeah, I completely expect the Mavic Pro 2 to meet or exceed the video quality and the video stability of the Phantom 4. That's my expectation. Because the Mavic Pro, although it was great, excuse me, it was smaller, it was a little bit behind in the video quality department. So yeah, we'll see what they do. And the main thing is, I got it all coming here. Again, check out 400orbelow.com. That's my drone website. But my new thing is that when I get IrixGuy.com, when I get all the content out on this new site, you're really going to find it easy to find all of the drones and accessories, because I obviously want to make that front and center along with the other content on the website. So that's about all I got. I mean, it is a Friday. It's approximately 8:23 p.m. New York City time, a big city up there on the East Coast. And yeah, I mean, what y'all got brewing here? I know I'm just walking with a head cold, but yeah, fun stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping there are some rumors. Hello, welcome aboard. There are some rumors about a GoPro Hero 6. And I don't know if you follow the financial markets, but there's a company called Umbrella that has historically produced the GoPro camera components. And speculation leads one to believe that the GoPro Hero 6 may not be using Umbrella components. So makes me wonder if they're going with a different, if they're going with a different manufacturer, will they be able to produce a camera that doesn't have the fisheye effect? When you look at it, it doesn't look like it's kind of spherical. It'll look flat, like you get with the DJI camera. If you ever put a GoPro on a drone, unless you went into linear mode, you probably found that the GoPro video had a fisheye look to it, which a lot of people, including myself, aren't too fond of. A lot of people don't want that look in the aerial video. So you're excited about the GoPro Hero 6, and I think if any company needs to recover right now, it's GoPro, because they GoPro Karma, problems. I mean, I'll go as far as to say that the GoPro Karma was the biggest drone disappointment that I've encountered to date, because I was genuinely excited about the GoPro Karma, just based upon my track record with GoPro with all their cameras. It's been a great company, great customer service, good product, ton of great mounts. And then they were coming out with their first GoPro flying mount, the GoPro Karma drone. And it it didn't just disappoint. I mean, it severely disappointed in an embarrassing way. I hate to say it like that, but I mean, it was definitely the biggest disappointment. Now, I was disappointed with another drone also, the I remember the Unique Typhoon H. And the Unique Typhoon H, that was a big disappointment. But it wasn't as big of a disappointment for me because I had the expectation, not any bias, but when I went in with the Typhoon H, I didn't know if it was going to compete, and it didn't. And it's severely disappointed. But the GoPro Karma was something that I expected to impress, and it failed epically. So, yeah, the Goat Man. Do I believe in Goat Man? I know there's Goat Man's Bridge, and I know that that the Goat Man's supposed to live at Goat Man's Bridge, and I don't know. I mean, do you believe in Goat Man, or do you think it's nonsense? I do believe in aliens. I think it's ignorant to assume that we're the only planet with intelligent life. So, I mean, I don't know. I've never been out there on a spaceship to look around, but I assume there's probably alien life forms. But yeah, Goat Man. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about Goat Man. What do you think about Goat Man? Ooh, the sun is setting. It's a good walk. Getting good exercise. Talking about drones. From Apple Valley, California. Now, is Apple Valley where Apple is, like Cupertino, or is that just where is Apple Valley? That sounds cool. Sounds like there'd be a lot of cool computers there. So, yeah, no. Speaking of other news, speaking of Apple, the Apple Developers Conference. I believe in him. My friend and I saw him camping in Ohio. Cool. So Goatman lives in Ohio. What did Goatman look like? So yeah, the Apple Developers Conference, close to San Bernardino. Cool. Apple released a lot of new stuff. The biggest thing, and I hate to say this, I mean, we know Apple's overpriced, but it is a good product in my opinion if you're looking for the best video and photo editing tool. But it looks like they're transitioning the iMac into a Mac Pro replacement. I doubt we'll see another Mac Pro because it looks like they're beefing up the iMac to have a professional line. But the new one, it's supposed to come out at the end of the year, and it's going to have, I think, the top config, like 18 cores or something. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you're looking to edit VR and other video, like 4K video, it could be a really good solution. But yeah, and it's also the first version. It'll be in a space gray color. So that's, again, that's kind of signaling the direction that they're taking with the iMac. They're making it cater to a more professional audience as well. That's pretty cool. You saw Goatman. I mean, that's like, now did you get a picture or a video of Goatman? Ivy Games, yeah, man. Got the Spark on the way. Hopefully I'll have the DJI Spark next week. It hasn't shipped for me yet. Check out there's anybody watching wants to order a spark, check out IrixGuy.com or 400orbelow.com, and you can find it there. But yeah, it ought to be exciting. You know, again, I'm disappointed that it's not going to have 4K video, but I guess that's just an opportunity for them to test the waters on the cheap. And if the market responds well, then I bet they'll create a DJI Spark Pro or something with a 4K. Be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, interesting stuff. I gotta research this goat man some more, because it's pretty crazy. And there's a thing up in New Jersey. It's not the goat man, but it's is it the Jersey Devil or something? But it's some sort of creature that runs through the forest up there. Jamie says, looking forward to seeing some more Spark reviews. Man, me too. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be dwell for owls. Cool. You think there'll be a problem with the wind? Well, Ivy, that's you're talking about the wind and the DJI Spark. That's one of the biggest what ifs that I have in my mind right now, is how's it going to handle mild to moderate wind? So be interesting. Man, I wish you had captured the goat man. That would have been cool. But yeah, the Spark, the wind performance, well, the range on it, Ace, and I obviously haven't tested it yet, but I think according to the specs on paper that it could easily exceed 1 mile if the operator was not careful. So it would easily, according to what it says on paper, it would be easy to fly it beyond line of sight, which should be illegal in most places. So yeah, the range on paper of the Spark, I mean, that looks very impressive to me. DJI goggles, well, I don't know. It's no, I never made it to Boone. I went to Smoky Mountains, went to Gatlinburg and Sevierville. The goggles, the thing about the goggles is that they look cool, but from a legality perspective, and this is a lot of countries throughout the world, there's often a line of sight requirement for drone pilots. So, you know, if you've got the controller in your hand and you're flying the drone, you know, and check in your country and see what the regulations are, but you may find that there's something called a visual line of sight requirement. So for that reason, I'm kind of hesitant to go with the goggles. I know it'd be great if somebody else was watching while I was flying, but you know, what's the thrill of watching a flight if you can't fly and watch it at the same time and have the true FPV experience? Because, you know, as unfortunate as it is, it's important for all drone pilots to adhere to the regulations that are in place in their country, because it's you know, it's a great hobby, but it's a hobby that unfortunately has the potential of becoming overly regulated. So, you know, over-regulation is a bad thing. A little bit of regulation can be okay, but often things become overly regulated, and then things cease to exist because it becomes so complicated to enjoy the hobby that people would otherwise not do it. I mean, the whole the definition of a hobby is something that one does outside of their professional pursuits to relax and have fun. And if you have something like goggles that may make you a potential target, then you can't really relax and can't have fun. So yeah, man, I bet that did shake you. I never go in the woods without guns, man. That's the only way to do it. I mean, you never know what's going to come up, and I mean, that's, especially if you're dealing with goat man, I mean, that's kind of freaky. Regulations is why I stopped flying. I used to enjoy FPV. That's what Ace Report just said. It's a shame. It's a shame because, you know, back in the day when it was RC, people flying RC airplanes, this, that, and the other, there was very little regulation because it wasn't as mainstream. And then drones came out, and they made the otherwise, what previously niche hobby, they overpopularized it. So they drones brought in a camp of people that are less than responsible, and the product of that is, of course, the media. The media are all about finding negativity, and, well, they found the negativity pertaining to drones. They showcased the negativity pertaining to drones. And now we've got regulations for drones. So it's a shame. And that's, you know, I'm hopeful that maybe these regulations will loosen, because if they don't loosen the belt, you know, these things are going to get, it's just going to get to where, you know, like Ace said a second ago, you know, you're not going to be able to enjoy the hobby anymore. You know, it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Well, just, you know, when did I last fly? Steven asked me when I last flew. Well, it's been a few weeks, actually, it has. And, you know, I've had this cold, so I've been under the water with that, and it's been a few weeks, so I gotta, as soon as I get my spark, hopefully this week, I'm gonna fly a lot. And that's another good thing about the spark, is that, you know, and I'd mentioned this before, but, you know, it being a smaller, more lightweight drone, and they got different color options, it's one of those things people look at, they're like, oh, you know, they assume it's a toy. So from a perception perspective, it should be easier for someone in a lawful location to take their drone out and have an enjoyable day enjoying their hobby, because it's not like an Inspire. It's too big and too heavy, and you know, just, it'll be easy to, in essence, fly under the radar with such a small drone. But the main thing is that it's enjoyable enough to justify flying, because if it's just small and it's a poor performer, that's not going to be of much value. Yeah, that video, yeah, where I was out in the wilderness with, actually I was out there with STK's Adventure Channel. If you go to youtube.com/summertime Ken, that's STK's Adventure Channel. Yeah, we encountered some weird noises in the woods, and you never know. I mean, it could have been goat man, it could have been chupacabra, could have been the Yeti. Who knows? I mean, you never know. But yeah, I mean, there's people out there watching this. If you haven't been out in the wilderness, there's a lot of things in the wilderness that do a lot more than just go bumping tonight. So, you know, if you've been hesitant to go backpacking or go out and sleep about 10 miles out in the middle of nowhere, you're missing out. If you do that, you'll experience things that you probably didn't know existed in this world. So just some words of encouragement there. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun week next week as soon as DJI Spark arrives. And again, it's good to have y'all here. Not a scheduled live show, just decided I'd get back on since I've had this head cold and I've actually got my voice somewhat back. But yeah, stay tuned for more shows. Again, check out IrixGuy.com. I've got a lot of work going into that. It's going to be a very high-end website, and hopefully very snappy response time. I know, thanks to y'all's feedback, my 400 or below.com website was a poor performer, so I've got to revamp that. Yeah, you're right. Once you get over the fears and have the right, and that's easy for people to say. I'm sure you've been doing the same thing, and I've been camping since I'm almost 40 years old, and I've been camping since I was about 12. So, you know how to survive in wilderness. You know how to relax, and you get somebody out there that's never done it, and they don't know what to expect, and it gets dark, animals start coming out, coyotes and wolves, and they start freaking out, especially when you're in bear country. That's one of the it just takes some mental conditioning. But yeah, well, appreciate y'all tuning in. We're about half hour in. This is just the walk show. Gonna be back in the Manhattan studio here in a few days, and get another IrixGuys live show. And then obviously as soon as I get